What's going on, you guys? What's going on? What is going on? This is your boy Scotty by Nature TV, and we are here for another episode of Yes for the Mess, where we talk about celebrity gossip, hot topics, and all things reality TV based. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Saturday, and I intend on doing the exact same thing, y'all. What is going on in this bitch? Okay, what's going on, y'all? I know y'all just got a video from me just an hour ago, but that was before I knew that Kenya Moore was going to drop this video today. So y'all already knew I had to come up here and tell y'all what I thought. Now, I'm just going to be honest with y'all right about now. I did not see the video in its entirety. I did not catch it at the very beginning. But what I did do, I caught it from the end. But what I'm going to do is do what I like to do, which is, talk about it in a way, we listen to it as we go, give commentary as we go, and things like that. That's what I want to do with it right about now. So we're going to go ahead and get into it, y'all. But if you haven't, go ahead and share the video. Go ahead and like the video if you must. If you do like the video after you watch it, girl, like the video if you like it. You know what I mean? Do that. But, so since we're talking about Real Housewives of Atlanta stuff, we're going to go ahead and get into what we got coming up, y'all. So before we get into it, let's talk about it. Now, y'all know that I review the Real Housewives of Atlanta tomorrow right after the show. So make sure you guys tune in. And then on Monday, we got the Whether You Like It or Not panel. This week, Busy would be the one hosting, but because he can't, I'm hosting it this week. So it'll be right back here, and Busy will host it next week. So make sure y'all get into it. So that's pretty much the gist of all of that. So we're going to go ahead and get into what we're here to talk about, y'all, and that is Kenya Moore. Now, I know a lot of people are live right now. Jamie is live. Really B is live. Conscious TV is live. A couple of people are live right now. So we're going to fight to make sure people are tuning in right about now. Okay. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into the video now. We're going to go ahead and get into Kenya Moore. She says that this is the confessional that they tried to silence, honey. And it's about 30 minutes long. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. I know y'all waiting, and I know some of y'all probably didn't even hear what she said yet, but we're going to get into it right now. We're going to get into it now. So let's go ahead, y'all. So let's listen in on Kenya Moore. Let's talk about it. Let's listen.
And I am influential. Hey everyone, it's your girl Kenya Moore. Kenya Moore hair care. Kenya Moore hair spa. Kenya Moore YouTube. Anyway, this is my first ever YouTube content that I'm putting out myself, and I'm so proud of myself because I am taking back the narrative instead of everyone speaking on me, and quite frankly, everyone making money off of me. That part. Even sitting down in the interview chair, I haven't done that like for a year. So guess what? I'm doing it for you. Thank you for joining me. And be sure to subscribe because you do not want to miss any of this hot, smoking, piping hot tea.
Kenya, this shit better be piping hot and smoking, because if it's not, I'm dragging you. I'm just letting you know.
Let's get into it. Let's get into the receipts, okay? More receipts. I have more receipts for you, and I want to just talk about some things that I have been seeing out in the atmosphere that are completely laughable, most of it, but also in a lot of ways just really dumb. Yeah, I said it, dumb. Portia, in her recent YouTube, alluded to another housewife sending me the photos of the now infamous photos that were shown during my spa opening.
I know for a fact that one of these housewives who is still on the show is the one who gave Kenya a big part of that nude information.
So number one, that's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. The photos were online on various porn sites, many porn sites. I don't watch porn. I'm not a porn expert. I don't enjoy it. I don't participate. I don't get anything from it. Okay. I would like to just rather see my own body in action, maybe in a mirror or something like that. But I'm not going to sit there and watch porn. The investigators and everyone involved, not including Drew Sidora, found those images and they're still there. That brings me to Ming Lee. Someone said,
Okay, so she said the investigators and people like of that nature were the ones that pretty much got those photos and everything like that. But I'm trying to figure out what she meant by when she said excluding Drew Sidora. Like, what, is she saying that Drew was a part of the shit? Let me rewind it because I need to know what she meant by that. Let me rewind it just a little bit. Honey.
And everyone involved, not including Drew Sidora, found those images. And there's
She said everybody involved, not included Drew Sidora. So what does that mean? Does that mean the cast was a part of it? Like what happened? But okay, I guess we're gonna continue on with this. It's 85 of y'all up in here so far. If you're brand new to the platform, go ahead and subscribe to the channel right now. You won't regret it. So now she's about to go ahead and talk about Ming Lee. Okay, so let's talk about it. Oh, wait, before we get into that, let me see this comment. It says Portia has been saying that it was a current RHOA housewife. So she's okay, so basically she's saying that it wasn't Drew. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into it, y'all. Let's take a listen.
still there. That brings me to Ming Lee. Someone said that Ming Lee was somehow involved because they know each other, and Ming said out of her own mouth that she has a lot of evidence of Brit Eady's past performances, gigs. Let me say this for the people in the back. We did not get any photos from any person. They came directly from a search online. The photos that were revealed are not considered revenge porn. I went so far as, oh my God, did I do something wrong? I don't know this lady. I don't know any of her ex-boyfriends. I don't know any of her ex-friends. I've never seen this lady before in my life. I want to make sure I didn't break any laws. So I engaged a local attorney who advised me about the federal law as well as the Georgia state law. I shared photos that were readily available online. I did not commit revenge porn. I shared a publicly available photo that was accessible online. If I showed Kim Kardashian's sex tape right now, is that revenge porn? It's not. And then while we're talking about that, I've already said it was wrong. I should not have done it at my salon, this beautiful salon that I've worked so hard for, that spent a lot of money on, that money that could have been spent in other areas, including supporting my child. So yes, I am very sorry that I shared the photos because it wasn't right, but I did not break the law. And I'm very sorry for what I did. So
now she's saying that she's sorry for what she did. She is owning up to the fact that she was wrong for sharing the photos. So at least we can all say that Kenya is basically saying, yeah, girl, I was wrong. I shouldn't have did that. I shouldn't have showed your damn photos. Although the photos was already on the internet, but I shouldn't have showed them, girl. Like, whatever. I that's what I'm getting from her. And from what she said, they were on porn sites. Now, listen, I don't really watch porn either. Let's be honest. At least not on no porn site. Now, Twitter is right there. I look at it on Twitter, honey. The porn ain't that great for me to watch. I watch it on the Twitter. That's the point I look at. But other than that, if it's already on a site or something like that, then pretty much it's not necessarily revenge porn. It's really not if it's already out there on the website. So I didn't know, I tried to find the pictures on Google, but couldn't find them. But she said it was on various porn sites. And she did say she was a webcam girl and things like that. So who knows? But, I'm just telling you what the girl said now. That's all I'm telling you. But I think the biggest part of it is she did admit that she was wrong, and she did look into federal laws and Georgia laws, in my opinion. So for me, that's enough to say, okay, at least she looked into it first to make sure that she wasn't committing a crime. But at the end of the day, it's still wrong. Now, for those of you that ask how did the background investigators get them? Listen, private investigators can find just about anything. They can find certain stuff on your ass that you probably think that won't nobody be able to find. Now, luckily, I ain't got no porn tape out. And if I did, y'all wouldn't know nothing about it because ain't nobody gonna see it but me. Okay, let's be clear. Number two, Britney, you knew that you was coming on this show. This is the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And you do know that when you're on a show like this, people are going to dig you up, baby. They're going to dig you up. They're going to find all kinds of information on you. That's what they do. They're going to find information on you. And it might be information that you thought that you had buried. It might be information that you would never want nobody to find. But that's what happens when you're on reality TV like that. You feel what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Let me see. If you give me $200, I can investigate and find the tea online too. Exactly. You can find it if you want to pay the $200. You can find it. Anybody can find whatever they want to find on you if they know how. So you know. But let's continue.
In the comfort of my own home, I was joking around with my bestie, which I always do, my very best friend, Brandon DeShazer. We were having a dispute on the show with Phaedra, and I was in my closet, and I brought out one of my firearms, and I'm like, oh, do I have to use this on Phaedra tonight? Giggling, ha, 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 he. Phaedra was not around, nowhere to be present. Phaedra never saw it. I never said it in any threatening way. I was not upset. You cannot compare apples to oranges. If you want to do that, does Phaedra sitting on the reunion couch with her taser ready for me count?
Now, that is a good question. Now, I have seen a lot of people bringing up the fact that Kenya said something about a gun or something like that when she was in a scene with Brandon. But Phaedra was not there. She didn't say that she was going to use it on Phaedra. She didn't say it like Britney did. Oh, I got choppers, bitch. I got choppers. I got this. I got that. I do this. I do that. Like, you know, she ain't say nothing like that. But what she did say was, do I have to use this on her? Do I have to use this? It's not the same. However, Phaedra did sit her big pregnant ass on that damn couch with a taser in her hand, I must say, with a taser in her hand. And she chose to, you know, make threats from the damn couch. That's just what it is. So it's not the exact same thing. But like I said, though, the same people that want to clown Kenya for this situation is the same people that still defends the shit that Phaedra did to Candy and to Candy and Todd. They still defend that. You know, and I'm one of the ones that's been going in on Kenya for showing the photos. I still think that is wrong. But some of y'all need to shut the fuck up. If you are sitting up here going up for what Phaedra did to Candy, Todd, and Shamia, saying that Candy was finna her and Shamia and taking her back to a dungeon, all this other stuff. If you still going up for that and you feel like people need to get over it, then bitch, you get over what the fuck Kenya did. Because what Phaedra did and Portia was way worse than this right here, to me. The photos was already out there, but it's still wrong. But at the same point in time, if you're gonna go off of Phaedra and what she did, then shut the hell up about what Kenya did. Because both things are wrong, in my opinion. But let's continue.
Okay, moving on.
Tell us about your first interaction with Brit and why you feel like she misinterpreted your energy.
Oh, I don't think she misinterpreted anything. It was all very calculated. So the first interaction I had with all of the ladies was really pleasant. I was excited to meet them. It was season 16. I'm like, oh my God, this is season 16. I'm the only one standing that's a real OG, 12, 13 years in, you know, and I felt like I could be mother to everyone. I'm a mother, okay? You know, show these girls I've been through the fire. I know what it's like to be a newbie. I know what it's like to be here. You know, I know everything that could possibly happen has happened to me on this show. And I felt like I could speak, you know, as someone that could be supportive, could read a girl if she's wrong. And my first interaction with all of the newbies, I was like, oh, you girls are so pretty. You know, Kelly was there, Britney was there, everyone was there except for Angela at the moment, and also Drew. And I just remember coming in, just being very pleasant to everyone. And there was an issue about a ring that someone made. I feel as though that was clearly a made up issue. If someone has an engagement ring on and not a wedding band, not the other way around, because if you just have on one ring and it's just a circular ring, that's usually a wedding band. Now you could choose to wear whatever you want to wear on your hand. No one's saying that. I was confused at what she was saying about it being a new ring or a different ring, or her second ring is actually what she said. I'm like, oh, you've been married before? I don't know this girl. I never seen her before in my life. So again, you're wearing an engagement ring, I'm assuming that either you're engaged or you're I don't think you could be anything else. I think my fans know and I'm being shady. I think they call me the shade assassin for a reason. That wasn't shady. We know what my shady looks like. Let's move on. It wasn't shady.
But here's my thing though. Even if it was shady, it's still not enough to be threatening somebody with a firearm. It's still not enough. Even if it was shady. And if it was shady, it was real light shade. Like it wasn't that shade that you can take, you know, that you should take real deep and real serious. You feel what I'm saying? Like it ain't that kind of shade at all. But for me, I just feel like it was never that deep to begin with. Like absolutely not. Like what we talking about here. Like it's not that serious. It's not that deep. Like I said, even if it was shade, it wasn't that serious. It doesn't constitute nobody talking about choppers and stuff and threatening violence on somebody just because they made like a quote unquote shady remark about your ring. If you felt like it was a shady remark about your ring, then shade her back for not having one. Shade her back for being in a failed marriage. It's ways that you could have handled that. But instead, you want to make issues about a ring. You want to make issues about a church pact. You want to make issues about things that's not even that fucking serious. You feel what I'm saying? So, girl, please, like I said, even if Kenya was being shady, that's ridiculous. Like, come on now, girl. No.
So after I saw her and, you know, we had the whole moment again about the hug was a very awkward. I don't like to hug. If you see me out in public, I will probably never hug you because I do believe people transfer energy to you and you have to really kind of know someone and know where they're coming from to hug them. So I don't really hug people that I don't know. That's not a crime. That is a boundary that I have for myself, but people need to respect that. It's not personal. Then we get to the next time I see her, the ball on, and then I'm like, oh, you look so beautiful, like a ball on Barbie. You look amazing. Hi, ball on Barbie. How are you? Yes. Hi. You know, I hugged her then, hugged her when I saw her another time, hugged her at the dinner.
That was a pat. That wasn't a hug.
That's a hug without getting makeup on me. And she was complaining every step of the way. And I'm like, this girl has very bad energy, but I paid it dust. And I just went on to have a good time because I was actually having a really good time at the dinner before it went left. So the whole thing about being targeted, her being targeted by me, people asking her if I did something to her, she can't answer why, because it didn't happen. Do you want to know what I really think happened? I think that when she was interviewing for Real Housewives of Atlanta, she wanted the villain role. She wanted to come after me because she felt like, okay, well, Portia wasn't there at the time. I was, right? And I believe that she made them promises that she was going to come after me. She was going to be this girl that could read, this girl that was doing all this, you know. And when she met me, Portia flushed this out. She was surprised and thrown off that I was so nice because I am nice. I don't really.
And this is what a lot of people are saying. A lot of people feel like when it came down to it, she felt as though she felt like Brit was there for another reason. It wasn't a reason as to you know, I'm gonna come in and we're gonna make nice, we're gonna see how this shit goes and things like that. It wasn't that at all. She came into the situation knowing what she wanted to do. She came in when she interviewed with the producers, like, I'm gonna come in and be that villain that y'all need. Like, y'all need to get Kenya the fuck out of here. I'm gonna be a baby Kenya. We finna get this shit popping. Like, that's what we finna do. That's what she thought that she was gonna do. So she came in ready with guns ablaze and ready to come at Kenya. But when Kenya didn't give her that fucking energy, she was kind of thrown off by the fact that Kenya wasn't giving it to her like that. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that's what she was thrown off by. Like, she was completely thrown off by the fact that Kenya wasn't giving it to her like that. And, you know, if you the type of girl that's, you know, sitting up here, you know, ready guns blazing and things of that nature and stuff like that, then girl, when you meet the girl, of course you're gonna feel like, oh yeah, this ain't what I thought it was gonna be. Of course it's not what you thought it was gonna be, girl. Of course, it's not what you thought it was gonna be. You thought you was gonna come in and turn it out, girl, but it didn't happen that way. And now you looking dumb in the face now. You feel what I'm saying? That's what's going on. And now you looking cracked up in the face, and now you gotta prove yourself. And you already made these promises to the production team, like you finna come in and be this big villain and shit like that. And now that Kenya done threw your ass off, it ain't what you thought it was gonna be. So absolutely. Absolutely. That's what this was. So girl, bye. At the end of the day, you were creating issues. You were looking for any reason to come at this girl, like you were looking for any motherfucking reason to say anything to Kenya. You was looking for any reason to have an issue with Kenya, and it was never really that deep, and it was never really that serious. You feel what I'm saying? So it all reeks of, I'm finna come in and be the one to come for this bitch. I'm finna drag this hoe, and everybody gonna like me for it. That's the energy that it was giving off. So yeah, it looks like this was something that she intended to do. She knew she wanted that villain role, because she knows that sometimes when you the villain, you get the most attention. I'm gonna tell you just like this. I'm going into, y'all already know I'm going into web reality. When I was talking to folks and trying to be on the show, I wasn't talking about, oh, I'm gonna play this role. I'm gonna be the villain. I'm gonna be who the fuck I am. That's what y'all gonna see. I'm gonna be who the fuck I am. Like whatever comes, but I'm gonna be who the fuck I am. So at the end of the day, it was just like, no. So, and some people do get on these shows, and that's the road that they want, and that's the road that they eye, and that's the road they're gonna run to. That's just what happens. So yes, that's exactly what Brit did, and it never ever works out when you come in planning what you gonna do and how you gonna come across. It looks contrived. And everything about Brit at this point is contrived. Even the way that she's been doing her interviews as of lately, going to these interviews for her Sunday's best song, trying to look all, look a certain type of way, do certain type of things and shit like that. Everything about her is calculated. She comes in dressed up like a damn lawyer, trying to have on her sympathy suit to make everybody feel bad for her. Girl, you came in with this notion that you gonna come for Kenya, she gonna be your storyline, and that's just what's gonna happen. I'm finna start some shit. That's what you came in doing. Now Kelly came in and started some shit with Portia, which we was all for the bullshit she started with Portia. It didn't come across like she trying to start some shit, but all Kelly did was ask the question that everybody needed to ask, which is, why did you take that lady's husband? That's the question that would have been asked to Portia if she would have came back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta for season 14. That would have been the question that Marlo or anybody would have asked Portia had she came back. So the whole thing with Kelly asking that question, wasn't nobody really mad about that motherfucking question at all, because I know I wasn't mad with her about it at all. But Brit, like, she talked about my ring. You talking about that for 3 episodes. Then you mad about a church pat and all this other shit. Then you start calling her bitches, and you gonna do this and you gonna do that. You got choppers and you got pistols on you and shit like that. But girl, please. Then you say on your interview with Andy that you didn't have a gun on you, but yeah, you was in the interview months ago saying that you keep your motherfucking on you. So what is you talking about? Girl, please. Absolutely not. So as much as I still feel like Kenya is wrong, Brit started all this shit. And she needs to know that she started all this shit because she was looking for a motherfucking moment. And she got the moment that she was looking for. So it is what it is. Let's continue.
They bother people unless they bother me. We know I retaliate.
Now, Kenya, I ain't finna sit up here and let you lie now, because you do be bothering folks that don't bother you now. Kim Fields, please, because you bothered that lady, and that lady didn't do nothing to you now. So I ain't gonna sit up here and let you lie. Tell me you don't bother folks unless they bother you. Girl, you bother Kim Fields. Let's not lie. You slick bothered Sheree when she first came back to the show, season 8, when you want to make those digs about a house. You do start with folks, Kenya. Let's not play the victim.
We know that's what I do. I'm not saying it's always right, but I'm not going to let anybody run over me. And I have no reason to not like someone that I don't know. And I was always nice to the girls. The point is, I think she overpromised what she would do on the show. The first 3 weeks of filming, she was exceptionally boring. There was nothing outstanding about her. She didn't come in. She wasn't dressed in designer clothes from head to toe. Her husband wasn't particularly interesting. Like, no, not trying to throw shade in the husband. Sorry about that. but there was just nothing in the group scenes that I saw her in that made me think, oh, that's a star baby. I was actually more captivated by Kelly and Angela. And of course, I knew Shamia already. I knew her personality, but she was failing. Like she was dull.
Oh, wow. So before Kenya and Brit got into this scuffle, as I would want to call it, you feel what I'm saying? She's saying that Brit was boring. Brit didn't have anything to bring to the show. Brit was failing as a housewife. And to be honest, though, let's be for real, y'all. We got to be honest here. If you look at the fan reception in regards to the new girls on the show, everybody likes Shamia. Everybody likes Kelly. And now Angela's popularity is starting to grow. Now, we already know out of all of the girls, Shamia is the most popular one. Let's just be honest. All the girls love Shamia. Hell, Shamia's followers on Instagram is growing by the day. So, absolutely. And if you don't follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is right here. Y'all need to go follow me on Instagram because I'm like literally less than 1,000 away from my 10K followers on Instagram. I've been trying to get to that 10K for the longest, but y'all gonna follow me. But yeah, if you really think about it, if you think about the fan reception and the fan reaction about the girls that's on this show, everybody loves Shamia, everybody loves Kelly, everybody loves Angela, everybody loves them three. Nobody ever talks about Brit. And I felt like people were having their preconceived notions about Brit because of everything that went down with Kenya. I felt like that's why folks wasn't liking her. And I just wasn't finna. I just made the executive decision to give her a chance, to be honest, and not drag her through the coals just because she got into it with Kenya. Like, I felt like, okay, I'm gonna give this girl a chance. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna give her a chance. Like, I'm not gonna be, doing all this extra shit. I'm gonna give her a chance. You feel what I'm saying? So, and when she was on the show, when the show finally started airing, I didn't really hear anything about Brit that made me feel like, okay, that's the one. She gonna be the villain. She gonna be the one that give it to you. Never. I was already loving Shamia already before she even had a peach. Kelly won me over from the first episode. And then I had my mixed reactions to Angela, but by last week and a week before that, I started liking Angela a lot more. So it was kind of like, did we really need Brit? Because Shamia is flourishing, Kelly is flourishing, Angela is flourishing. So did we really need Brit? I don't know. But let's continue on.
Okay. So I think when she kept trying to come after me, and I just was like, okay, girl, I see you. You're trying to have a moment. You're falling flat. This is your 3 weeks in. Producers are probably asking you, girl, when are you going to show up? And you thought, okay, I'm going to show up tonight. And I think was her downfall from there. This is the biggest question that I have for the people that come on reality TV that have a shady past that you're not proud of. Okay, we've all done things in our past we're not proud of. Nobody was perfect. To the Simons, to the Chrisleys, it went from someone saying you're 17, age of consent, to, oh wait, that's not going to track. Okay, let me just say I was underage. No. So that's what I just don't understand. Like, I'm not even going to open that can of worms because my whole question and line of questioning would be completely different from everybody else's. I would want to know, if you're going to make us daily, you need to prove, because we already know you're capable of lying, right? Excuse me 1 second. Okay. Wow. Another Google alert. Okay. Well, we'll get to that. I don't understand why any person would come on reality TV when they have done things in the past or are currently doing things that they don't want to be found out. Why? And then to give someone a reason to expose you. In the words of Samuel L. Jackson, am I the only sane motherfucker? Like really? Am I the only sane person in the room? Why? Because they're so egotistical, they don't think they'll be found out. Like, okay, wow. You paid to scrub the internet out of your own words. Okay. Well, they left some dust in the corner. And over there in behind there too. A lot of people say that I had never taken accountability.
I literally just said that, right? So, girl, if you got a shady past and you're ashamed of that shady past, why come on reality TV? I always feel like if you got a shady past and you know you got a shady past, why be embarrassed by it? Bring your ass on here and own that shit. Most people would like, if you being real about it, people would honestly be here for it if you just own your shit and not really give a fuck about what people got to say about it. Because to be quite honest, I mean, if I had a shady past and I chose to get on reality TV for my own, you know, business or whatever it was I'm trying to do, then to be quite honest, I would get on here and not really give a damn about what anybody got to say about my past, because obviously I don't give a fuck about y'all and what y'all got to say about it if I'm getting on reality TV and I know I done did shit. Because to be quite honest, if I got on network TV today, the only thing that you will probably find on me is the fact that I had a simple assault charge when I was 18 that got dropped. But then again, it got dropped. So I mean, you probably ain't gonna find it no more. But that's the only type of shit you will see. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't got no shady past. I ain't did none of that. I ain't got no business doing. I ain't never just been to jail. Like I said, I've been arrested before for fighting, but I ain't never been to jail. And I probably got arrested for driving without a license or some shit like that. Like stupid shit like that. But I ain't never just went to jail, went to prison, did no bullshit. So I really ain't got no reason to be mad or hide anything from anybody, because the shit that I done got in trouble for in the past is shit that anybody would probably get in trouble for. Most people would probably, like, it's common shit folks would get in trouble for. But it's just like, girl, Britney, like, girl, bye. And then, like, when you first got announced to be a housewife, people was already talking about you anyway. They was already saying you was a scammer. They was already saying you wanted to be trusted. They was already saying this type of shit. They was already saying that. You feel what I'm saying? Like, they were already talking about you. Like, your business was already talked about in the streets anyway. Like, I seen people talk about it every damn where. I've heard people talk about it. And this is before I got to Atlanta. Because, you know, people were telling me shit before I even made it here, before I even touched down in Atlanta, that you need to be watched out for. That's what I was hearing. And somebody made a whole video about how much you a damn fraud. And I'm pretty sure that when the reunion comes, somebody's going to call you out for being a goddamn fraud. And that's just the facts of the matter. So you might as well get yourself prepared for it, because the people going to be coming for your ass. And you already know that. You already know that. People dig up shit on you soon as you get on reality TV. There's going to be motherfuckers out here who don't like you enough to dig up information on your ass and just send it to the blogs. Hell, YouTubers that may not like you would probably dig up some information on you motherfuckers and just be like, I don't like your ass, bitch, so I'm finna expose you. I hate your ass, so I'm finna expose you. That's what a lot of people probably gonna wind up doing. Like, it happens. So please be mindful of what you've done and what you're gonna do when you get on these shows. Period. And if you, it's just, girl. But at the end of the day, what I'm saying is, it still doesn't make it right for what Kenya did. Like, I want y'all to know that. I'm not making no excuses for what she did, because most of y'all already know what my stance is. I done screamed it to the top of my lungs for the last 2 to 3 weeks. Y'all know what my stance is on this Kenya stuff. So y'all already know that. But let's continue.
People say that I had never taken accountability for anything. And that's simply not true. And I went on Tamron Hall. I was promoting my daughter's book. The issue came up. And I said, I take full accountability. I am not playing the victim. I'm telling my own truth. I ultimately chose to go on Tamron Hall because I really needed to publicly take accountability for my actions. I mean, sharing that photo at my own salon opening was a serious lapse in judgment. Everybody can possibly now understand that it was definitely not the smartest thing to do. And I deeply regret that I hurt anyone that was involved, including the cast, including Britney, including the crew, including any of the guests that were there to come to celebrate me. I mean, this platform gave me a chance to sincerely apologize and not to excuse what I did, but to own it fully. Sometimes the things that you do can come back and they can hurt you. And as I've said here before, I definitely did not. I escalated the situation. I didn't need to. Kim Fields, okay? People are so mad.
Now, before we get into the Kim Fields of it all, it does sound like she's taking accountability more than what I've heard her take accountability for. So I think that she is taking accountability for what she did with the photo. I do think so. I do feel as though I do feel like we should have gotten a pickup scene. I feel like we should have gotten a scene while all the girls came together, sat down, talked about this whole situation. You know, kind of like how all of the cast sat down at Karen Huger's house and talked to Monique about attacking Candace and stuff like that. We should have got a scene like that. I could have absolutely seen a scene at Shamia's house. And we could have had Portia, Kelly, Angela, Cynthia. Everybody on the cast could have been there except Brit. Kind of like how everybody was on Potomac. Everybody on the cast was there except Candace. And I feel like at the end of the day, I think that we should have had that conversation before they chose to suspend her. I feel like we could have at least had that conversation with the cast and Kenya and see how everything was going to flow. You feel what I'm saying? That's what I think we should have had, but we're going to go ahead and continue on with the video though. Like, you know, we're going to continue on, y'all. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the content. We're almost at 300 people. So hopefully you guys are enjoying this. And if you are and you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to my platform, baby. We have a good time over here. You know, right now, your boy just been exhausted over the last couple of weeks, and I really ain't been on my shit when it comes down to the commentary, but we're getting right back to it. As of tomorrow, we'll be getting back into the content the way I know I can give it to y'all. Trust and believe me, okay? So yeah, so if you haven't subscribed, go ahead, and if you haven't liked the video, okay? But anyway, let's go ahead and continue on because she just brought up Kim Fields, and I want to hear what she got to say about Miss Kim Fields.
I didn't need to. Kim Fields, okay? People are so mad. That was what, 6-7 years ago, and rightfully so. I issued a public apology to Kim when I was on Watch What Happens Live. They asked me, is there anything that I regret? And I was like, absolutely. I think you learn from regret. But for me, I definitely regretted pulling her chair. That was not right. She's a class act and we are over it. Like, she invited me to come on her show to film with her just last year, the Upshaws. So wrong. I do take accountability. Another time I've taken accountability.
I never knew that she publicly apologized to Kim Fields. I never knew that. So I just say shout out to you, Kenya, for apologizing to Kim, because out of all of them, I feel like that was the one where you was just completely fucked up as an individual for that. Like, that was just the most. And you did not have to do that. So yeah, I'm glad that you apologized for that. Now, I'm gonna be honest, like I said, I don't recall the public apology. I ain't see the public apology, never heard of the public apology, honey. But if you say you publicly apologize, then you publicly apologize, honey. Okay, so shout out to you for doing that. I feel like but you know, I don't really be watching Watch What Happens Live unless it's somebody that I really, really love on there. And let's be clear, Kenya ain't my favorite, so that's why I didn't watch it. But just like JB just said, I do know that she apologized to Vivica Fox. I do know she did that, but I did not know that she apologized to Kim. So shout out to you for that. And I'm glad that they're past it.
Accountability is, and these are just from what I can remember off the top of my head, was with Phaedra. I did some things with Phaedra that crossed the line. She did absolutely things that crossed the line with me. But I apologized for my part and what I did to contribute to the downfall of our friendship. And that was on the show. So I'm not sure why people didn't acknowledge that was taking accountability, but I absolutely did in that moment too.
She definitely took accountability for what happened with Phaedra. She did. And there are people that continuously keep on saying that she never took accountability for the Phaedra stuff. But Phaedra never took any accountability for the things that she did to hurt Kenya. You know, and it took me a long time to really understand that and really digest that. Because, you know, this is where the whole thing when it comes down to maturing and growing up comes in, because let's be clear, I'm 36 now. The season that Kenya came on, I was 23. So from my vantage point at the age of 23, I just saw Kenya as a person that likes to keep up drama, starring shit. I felt like she picked that Portia. I felt like she did the most with Apollo. I felt like whatever. You feel what I'm saying? So for a long time, I was on Phaedra's side back then. You feel what I'm saying? I definitely was. I was on her side a lot back then because I didn't like Kenya. And Phaedra wasn't even my favorite at first. So I took up for Phaedra a whole lot because I did not like Kenya. And I felt like she was a bully and all that other shit. But then when Apollo admitted during season 7 that he lied and stuff like that, I feel like, okay, he admitted that he lied. So Phaedra needs to come back and apologize. But she never did that because she felt like she was well within her rights to say and do the things that she did. Now, even though Kenya took accountability and ownership for what she did with Apollo, Phaedra went as far as to make up lies on that lady. Never apologized for saying she was an alcoholic. Never apologized for calling her a whore, even though she never tried to fuck your husband. All that other shit. So at the age of 36, I'm looking at it a little differently now. And it's like, yeah, Kenya did take accountability for what she did with Phaedra. But Phaedra never apologized. But then again, Phaedra never apologizes for the shit that she does to people. She never apologizes. That's why I don't understand why the fans allow her to get away with so much shit. But I don't really want to go down that rabbit hole again, honey. Let's continue on, y'all.
Not playing the victim. I am in this situation partly because of my choices. Back to the original point, I have taken accountability. So you guys just choose not to see it. It's okay, but I'm just going to remind you. So now it's time for a commercial break. And since people want to talk about snatching edges, because you can get real close. These are my edges. You can even see the little gray hairs. Okay, this is not a lace front. This is my hair. Well, not this, but this is my hair, and these are my edges. I developed Kenya Moore Hair Care similarly to why I developed a product line as well as a spa. I love making women look and feel good. Like, I love when women come into the salon or use my products and leave reviews and say, my hair has transformed. I have had so many customers and positive reviews before any housewives drama had anything to do with it. My customers say more edges work. So try more edges today. You can find them online, or you can come into the shop, or you can go to CVS or Sally. So they all have different products, but we're also going to be back on Amazon. So check it out there too. Kenya Moore Hair Care. We're going to get into even more receipts, okay? I'm going to be answering questions that you guys have submitted. And don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe. Because if you don't, you won't get any notifications when I drop something new or when the juicy gossip hits the net first. You hear it from me first, right here.
People are saying, why didn't you go to the producers if you were so afraid?
The answer is I did. I did go to producers. Number one, when we were there, Portia and I stayed back while everyone was leaving, and Brit, Eady was irate. She was yelling and screaming, and it was then that I heard her say the following words. That's why I keep a for like you. Let me repeat that. You didn't hear it. I heard it. It didn't make the edit. That's why I keep a for like you, yelling and screaming as she's going out. I heard things knocking around. Like, I didn't know what was going on. I immediately went to the showrunner, the executive producer, and I said, what is going on? Why is she talking about what is happening? Like, Portia can tell you that. She saw the reaction on my face. She saw that I was visibly shaken, and I was like, just trying to figure things out. So I did go to the producer. Not only did I go to the producer then, I also went to the production company that night, explained what happened, and said, I don't know what's going on. We're 3 weeks into filming, and this girl we don't know is threatening to unalive me. I've been on the show for 12 seasons. I have never once had anyone threaten me with a. I have not ever had anyone allude to unaliving me. So I took it seriously, because it's one thing if, listen, it would never be right. But if a Portia or, even a Drew or somebody that we know that has something to lose. Did you hear me say that? If it was someone that we already knew, that we have been filming with for years, and we know that they have something to lose, maybe I would have taken it differently. But when someone you don't know, who basically, in my words, like you just, you found off the street, is doing all of that. You guys weren't there. You do not know how intense it got. It got so intense. So I did make my complaint. Well, I went to.
Okay, so let me stop right here. So she says that she did go to the production team. She did go to the showrun. I look a fool because I ain't got no haircut. That's why I look a fool right now. But anyway, she said that she went to production. She went to the people to complain about it. And it got intense. And she wanted to know what they're going to do about the situation, which is a fair question. What are we going to do about the situation? She's threatening to unalive me. What are we going to do about it? You feel what I'm saying? And this is the reason why I've been saying what I've been saying for a minute now. If you noticed, right? If you noticed, after the incident happened, Brit went on this apology tour and started doing this. Oh my God, I feel so bad for what I did. Oh my God, I feel like this happened. Oh my God, you shouldn't have. Oh my God, this happened. Oh my God, this. Oh my God, that. Like, all that was going on. And so I felt like, because I remember Kenya saying last summer that she did, in fact, go to production and let them know how she felt. So I feel as though that is the reason why Brit was going around during this damn apology tour and shit like that. That's what I feel like. I felt like she was doing this apology tour, like for real, because production told her to. And they probably felt like that would soften the blow if she goes and apologizes. That's why that is the reason why I feel like that. And I really feel that way now, knowing that Kenya actually did go to production and go to the people about the situation. But that really wasn't really a way to really soften the blow. Something else had to happen. You feel what I'm saying? And not to mention, there was another video that was put out there that showed Brit in the car steady going on and on about how she keep choppers and stuff like that in her purse. And I just like, I'm a rowdy chick. Sometimes I gotta fight because my mouth too slick. You know, and all this stuff. Kenya, why you doing me like I ain't worth ish? You make me want to ride past more manna and sit, you know? She basically telling Kenya she'll kick down the doors and smack your chick. Okay? Like, that's the type of stuff that she was saying. So it kind of gave like, girl, like, what we doing? What we talking about? So, no. So, yes, I perfectly sat there and I said, this is the reason why she's out here doing this damn apology tour. This is the reason why. Just due to the fact that production probably told her to do it. Now, let's get into the super chat. Now, number 5, if someone was going off on me like that and they me with the pow, I would have got a pow for that too. Well, hey, I can't say nothing about that. But anyways, we're going to continue with y'all. Let's continue.
To the police before him, and And honestly, I'm the only cast member there that's ever been physically attacked. Whether you say I deserved it, whether you say I did this or did that, it's obviously a polarizing conversation, and it was back then. But I was, and still am, the only one on the show that was physically attacked. So when someone is new to me coming around and saying that they are going to unalive me and use a on me, and then what you heard 2 or 3 more times saying they had whips and MF, that wasn't about the neighborhood. And you try to change the narrative to make it benefit you because of your inaction, that's rigging the game. You're rigging the game. You clearly rigged the game against me. Listen, I'm going to leave it right there. I did what I was supposed to do. And I take a lot of umbrage to someone now saying that they didn't have a gun. And so somehow that's supposed to absolve them from everything that happened after. And we're going to show this clip where she said prior to Housewives that she keeps a gun at all times. Roll it.
Keep my pistol with me always.
Security that's at the gas station?
I only go to gas stations that have security there. I only go to the same gas stations if I'm in the city.
Yeah.
On her Instagram, she said that wasn't her character. She did not threaten anyone with. She did not have a. She never said anything about. So we know that that was a complete lie. So we already know you're a liar. We already know she's capable of lying and trying to rig the game. Let's go back to this whole Watch What Happens Live interview where Andy asked her, did she have a gun? And she said, oh, no, I didn't have a gun. Well, I have proof otherwise. I have proof otherwise. Nobody checked bags when we're filming. Nobody checked cars when we're filming. You show up, you go inside, and you start to film. But weeks later, you want to say, oh, we had an investigation and found that you weren't in violation of the gun policy. Really, bitch? I did what I did. I complained to HR. I did all these other things. Now you want to do an investigation? 3 weeks have gone by because someone said it. Well, we already know that person is a liar, right? Because we have proof, solid proof from her on Instagram, and she lied about talking about the gun that night. So we already know you're a liar. And now we're investigating something 3 weeks after the fact because of what someone said that wants to keep their job. Oh, okay, that's okay. Hey, did you have a gun that night? No. Okay, investigation closed. Can you go to the airport and say you have a gun and not get arrested? Can you go to the bank and say you have a gun and not get arrested? Can you go any place that it will put people in danger and say you have a gun and not be committing a crime? That's not a crime. That's not against policy. I'm just asking the question. Can you go to your job tomorrow and say, you, Joe, you gonna learn today? You don't know who the I am, Joe. Fuck you, Joe. You gonna have some respect around here. I got whips. That's why I keep a for like you, Joe.
I'm going straight to HR.
You going to HR and the police.
And that is very true, y'all. That is very true because I'm gonna tell y'all another thing. I recently got into an altercation. At work. This was back in January. I got into an altercation at work, right? Because this old ass nigga really didn't know who the fuck he was fucking with. Okay, he didn't know who the keep talking to. Now I guess he let this pretty face, baby face, nice teeth, light ass voice, Michael Jackson sounding ass voice fool him. But bitch, you got me fucked up. He didn't know who the fuck he was fucking with. Okay, let's start there. When we got into an altercation, I use my words carefully. Okay, I use my words carefully because what I wanted to say was, nigga, fuck you, I'll fuck you up. That's what I wanted to say. That's what was about to slip out of my mouth, was that I'll fuck him up. That's what was finna slip out of my mouth. Or I'll beat your motherfucking ass. That's what was about to come out of my mouth. But I had to catch myself. And my produce manager had to catch me too. Said, Scotty, don't do it. Don't do that. Don't say that. Don't do, because he knew it was gonna come out. I was like, nigga, up. And then I had to stop. You know what I'm saying? Because we were arguing and he was talking so much shit. And I just wanted to beat his motherfucking ass. But I just stopped. I stopped myself. However, at the same location, a coworker of mine got into an altercation with another coworker, and he told him, "Don't make me go to my car. Don't make me go to my car. Don't make me go to my car. Don't make me go to my car." And he's now suspended from work because he made a terroristic threat. He said he'll go to his car. What you got in your car? You feel what I'm saying? This is a nigga that I'm cool with, that I work with, that says shit like that. Like, what you got in your car? You can't get, like, and then you said it in front of people. You know what I'm saying? You said that in front of people. So now these folks got to give a statement. They were right there when it happened. So they got to say what you said. And that wasn't smart to say some shit like that in front of somebody. Now, if it was just you and this dude going back and forth, then it's your word against his. They really can't determine who said what, who did what. But if you're going to say it in front of a group of people, your ass is grass. And they're either going to suspend you or they're going to fire your ass. It's going to be one or the other. That's why when I was in my altercation with my coworker back in January, I had to realize I've been with this company now for 8 years, although I'm ready to get the fuck on. But I've been with this company for 8 years now. So I know exactly what's going to happen if I flat out tell this man what I'm capable of doing, which is fucking him up. So if I say that to him, they're going to fire me. Although I ain't put my hands on nobody, they're going to look at it as a threat. But God knows I want to tell that nigga I'll fuck you up. I swear I want to tell him that. I want him to know that I'll fuck him up. I wanted him to know that. I wanted to hear him. I want him to hear me say it. But what I did do was, stop disrespecting me. Stop disrespecting me. You got me fucked up. Now, that's what I did say. And that was enough then. But you know, when I get mad, this whole face get red and I get the punching, my doing this and shit, or doing this, clapping my hands and shit like that, it becomes real ghetto, real hood, real Red Bull Park. It gets all that. And it ain't no good look. So absolutely not. So I be like, when I get to clapping my hands or doing this, yeah, you got me fucked up. That's just what it is. And my thing is this. I was saying, and then I remember telling somebody, I remember telling the same person that just made this threat a couple of days ago. I remember telling this same person. I told him, I said, this nigga don't fucking know me. I ain't been in no fight since I was 22 years old. He don't know me like that. And I'm just like, oh my God. He was trying to calm me down, but it was just like, it's crazy. So yes, Kenya is right. You must be an Aries. No, I'm not. I am an Aquarius. I'm an Aquarius with the Taurus moon, a Taurus Mars. I have a whole lot of Taurus and Capricorn in my chart, but I'm definitely an Aquarius. And one thing about an Aquarius is this right here. We are observant. We are quiet. We are cool, calm, and collected. Even in confrontation, we're calm. But if we get out of pocket, like I just explained to y'all that I got out of pocket, then that means you fucked up. You done really crossed the line if you done made me get out of character like that. So yeah. But let's continue on, y'all. All my Aquarius is in here. Y'all know.
That happened on Beverly Hills. You think she would be in jail or punished or out of a job? You think if she had said that to Kyle or Teresa Giudice or any other housewife on any other show, do you think she would still have a job? I'm just asking the question. Things been handled differently, I would have never felt a need to protect myself or escalate the situation. People go, oh, well, how is that protecting yourself? Because where I'm not even mention where I'm from. Where I'm from, and you may end up having to delete this, but I'm going to say it. You tell me if it's too hard.
Okay, right there.
So that's why the decision was made, for me to escalate it in the way that I did. Because if you keep messing with me, I got more and more with you, so leave me alone. And that person likely will leave you alone. And they certainly wouldn't be going around playing victim. They would just go on about their business and find another target. That's that. You want the truth? That's the truth.
Do you now feel that your retaliation allowed the new girl to trick you out of your spot?
Ooh, I don't think there's any such thing. I already had a spot. How can somebody trick? It wasn't a spot up for grabs. Like nobody snatched a peach. Everybody had a peach. So nobody tricked me out of my spot. So that does make sense.
Do you feel like Cynthia threw you under the bus and is Team Brit?
I'm not going to talk about Cynthia.
Boop. She said she ain't finna talk about Cynthia. Po thing. I wish they'll get it together, y'all. Let's continue.
I want to know how much you make a season, honey.
How much I make a season? Well, I mean, I don't talk about money. When it comes to like my own money, I see a lot of crazy reports saying like my net worth is 800,000. My house is worth 3 million. Like, how is my net worth 800,000? Like, I own that much in cars. Like, just stop. Like, I think it's taggy to talk about money, so I'll just leave it at that. But I think it's decent to say that I make more than the girls that are on the show now. Oh, thank you. Saved by the bell. Saved by the bell.
Will you attend the reunion?
Will I attend the reunion? I haven't been invited to the reunion. In fact, I was invited and then disinvited a few months ago. The disrespect is insane.
So you mean to tell me that this lady was invited to the reunion and then disinvited? That is very disrespectful, y'all. And look, I ain't even on Team Kenya like that. Now, I'm not even really on Team Kenya like that. But that is kind of fucked up. How you gonna have her not come to, how you gonna invite her to the reunion, then not invite her, then disinvite her from the reunion, then not allow her to film no confessionals, not allow her to give her point of view of the story? I think that people would probably take this whole situation a little bit better had they allowed her to do her confessionals. And not only that, had they allowed her to come to the reunion. Because what sucks about this whole thing is this season is really good. The season is good. The season is good. It's not bad. It's good. But it's not going to inflict that because the ratings are slipping, because people are tuning out due to the treatment of Kenya Moore. That's why people are tuning the fuck out now. I'm not going no damn well because this is my bread and butter. You know I ain't going nowhere. But however, the ratings are flopping. So it's kind of like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, the season is good, but ain't nobody watching because of the way we treated Kenya. So at some point, y'all probably already regretting the situation and things like that. But if we're really going to be real about it, though, Kenya really has always gotten the short end of the stick when it comes down to this show. And I'm saying this as a person who's not even a fan of hers like that. She's always gotten the short end of the stick. There's a lot of things that a lot of other housewives would get away with that she would never get away with. It's a lot that they do. It was no reason for her to be sitting at for the last two seasons, like season 14 and 15, she's sitting in the second seat, but Sheree's sitting at the first seat and Marlo's sitting at the first seat. It was kind of ridiculous because we know that Kenya is the one that brings the most entertainment, but we're trying to make Sheree the vocal point, Sheree and Marlo the vocal point of this show. And I don't even understand how they thought that Sheree was going to ever be a nucleus or an anchor to this motherfucking show from the jump. She was never that strong as a damn cast member anyway, in my opinion. And then on top of that, I think a lot of the stuff that has gone down with Kenya has a whole lot to do with the fact that she got married off camera and didn't tell them. And they've been mad with her ever since. Let's continue. Where we at? Thank you for the $20 super chat. I am captain of Team Twirl, but Kenya knows that she is black and they're not going to treat you like a Kyle or Teresa Giudice. Deep down inside, she has to know that. I mean, different people get different treatment, which is ridiculous. They know they made a mistake because they ended up bringing in Phaedra. They never do that if the girls are already delivering. They brought Phaedra in because Candy not there, and they brought Phaedra in because the fans been looking for it. But my thing is, Phaedra's not gonna bring anything. So I don't know why the fuck they felt like we needed to see Phaedra on our screens. The girl ain't bringing us nothing on Married to Medicine. So what make y'all? Because they feel like because the fans been asking for Phaedra and all this other shit, they're so out of touch because they think that Phaedra is so damn entertaining and she isn't. So they think that she was gonna bring something to this show. I absolutely don't agree with that at all. They should have never did that. And she ain't gonna do shit. They probably already knew that. Okay, we ain't got Kenya, so Portia ain't enough to, hold this show together. We need to bring somebody else from the past. So we're gonna bring Phaedra. So now if we have this freaking frack stuff, that's gonna be the nostalgia of it all, and then people will tune in. I don't think they are. And why in the fuck would they fire Kenya for this, but then bring in Phaedra after they fired her for saying that she was finna drug somebody? That'll never make sense to me, but let's continue, y'all.
From me being someone who has always loved Real Housewives of Atlanta and always wanted to see them win, to being shut out, not given an opportunity to apologize the same way that they gave that grace to someone else on the show. I think it's really odd, right? To be erased from history of the show, to not be in the opening credits, to not have confessionals. When Kim Zolciak left the show, she got a whole new show. She was in the confessional. She was a peach holder. You got girls taking glasses and knocking each other upside the head with real glasses on Jersey. You've had people talking about porn on Jersey. You've had people exposing, a real life revenge porn case on Vanderpump Rules. They're working. They haven't been made to look like a scumbag or a villain. Really? That's how I'm treated? That's pretty bad, I would say.
And not to mention, Phaedra comes in not even in the middle of the season, but towards the end of the season. And yet she's still able to have a peach. So if that was the case, Kim left the show season 5 mid-season, right after maybe episode 5 or 6, she left the show. Still had a peach, still had confessionals. Why can we give Kenya that same treatment, regardless of anything? But it goes back to what she was saying. Let's continue, y'all.
So I don't anticipate an invitation. Yeah, I don't see that.
Why do we promote the salon more?
I've always been struggling with building a team. That's why I always admired Andy so much, because she has this awesome team. She has an amazing team and she totally gets it, but you need help. And so when I'm just building out the salon and I'm out of all this money, $400,000, I'm fighting with the landlord about giving me my little $80,000 back and my TI. Obviously, I built a whole new, top floor, put all this money into it. And then thinking about, okay, now I'm going to put even more money in hiring a team and doing this and doing that. It just felt like I can handle it. Let's just, I'm not going to throw good money after bad. We're just going to let a year go by and see how it goes. I've been open for over a year and a half, about a year and a half, I think, at least a solid year. And what I have loved the most about this salon is the women, the customers that come in and are so happy with the results. The smiles, the repeat customers, like we have 85% repeat customers. And then when the Housewives show airs and the whole scandal airs, I have all these strangers from all over the country leaving bad reviews. We go from 4.9 Google reviews rating to 4.4. And every day there's somebody saying something crazy to try to hurt my business. If you don't like me, you don't have to like me. If you don't like what I did, you don't have to like what I did. But why are you coming after my business? The same, it's a culture that it can be very beneficial to you because I have a lot of supporters and Team Twirl is awesome. But then when you have these bad C's and people that don't think things through and just try to spew hate in your direction, that's what makes it really bad. That's not fair to the customers that really get great service when they come here. And it's up to them. If you don't want to come to the salon, stay at home. It's as simple as that. You don't have to come here. But why are you trying to ruin other people from coming here and having great experiences? I work so hard.
Now I'm looking at the comment section and I see they're calling out certain bloggers' names, honey. And I already knew it was coming. I knew it was coming, but I ain't messy.
Sometimes I'll step in and do a head spa. If I don't have a stylist, Walter can tell you that. If I don't have a stylist for the day or someone calls out, I don't want to let anyone down. So I'll put, my shampoo gloves on, or I'll shampoo someone's hair, or I'll do a deep conditioning treatment because I want everyone to believe in the space and have an amazing time when they're here. And that was always my vision.
The girls want to know what you got in the works.
Ew. I always keep things close to the vest until when it's almost out. So I have got a lot of different projects that people will be able to see me and my daughter in. And I'm just really so happy about that. But again, you don't know anything until after it's in the can. You know what I mean? Even if I've been shot in a movie, I don't talk about the movie until I know it's being released and I've seen it and I'm in it. So I want to thank you guys for listening to me today. Listen, we don't have time for everything. I'm not.
Okay, y'all. So I think that's enough. That's the end. We ain't got to hear the rest. But I will say this. This is what I'll give y'all before we get up out of here. I think that Kenya, I think Kenya did a good job for the most part. I think that she answered a lot of questions that needed to be answered. I think she gave a lot more insight of this situation because we were all going by speculation in one party and stuff like that. So we really didn't know until she said a lot of the stuff that she said. So I think that she did a good job with confessing everything that she needed to confess. But I also want to know that y'all enjoy me giving my commentary on what Kenya Moore had to say. It sucks for the show that Kenya is not there. It does. I really hate that she's not there. But I really, really hope that she is able to come to the reunion. And I really hope that, she's able to go to, come back to the show next season. But it seemed like the relationship is so sour that she probably really don't want to go back anyway. And I wouldn't blame her if she didn't want to go back, if you want to be real about it. But it is crazy how, housewife shows get away with certain things the other housewife shows get away with. Like the whole Jennifer and Danielle. Like Danielle slapped the shit out of Jennifer Aiden with that damn glass on Real Housewives of New Jersey. And they didn't get suspended. Nothing ever happened to them. So it's ridiculous. Let's see. Thank you for the super chat. But Bravo never fired Kenya. They put out a statement saying that Kenya left on her own because Bravo didn't have her back. They said she's still on the Bravo contract. Well, we'll see how it goes though. But as an Aquarius, when we feel like ain't nothing working for us and we don't trust the folks no more, we are donezo. And that's just what it is. And I feel like that's where she's at with it. But y'all, before we get up out of here, I got to inform you guys of some stuff. Number one, y'all do know I've told y'all time and time again that I'm getting into the web reality thing. I told y'all that I have not revealed what show it is, but everybody thinks that it's Chasing Atlanta, and it ain't. I'm not on this show. Number two, I got a book coming out, and I think I've told y'all this already that I got a book coming out, y'all. I just received my edits for the first half of the book. I got my edits and Lyric, don't play with me. Don't worry, I'll text you after this is over and cuss your ass out. Don't worry about it. But anyway, my book is finally getting ready to come out. It's a book that I wrote in 2011, and it has like 12 different volumes to it. And when I chose to go with this particular publisher and stuff like that, I said, if I'm gonna put out a book, I want to put out a book that I love, that I'm the most proud of. And this particular book that I'm putting out is one that I'm the most proud of. I feel like it's some of my best stuff. And just reading the edits and how they have, spruced it up and still keep my dialogue, but actually give better descriptions is amazing. So I am reading this book like I never wrote it. Like I'm reading it and it's so amazing, but I cannot wait till it comes out. I really hope that all of you that's in here will support my book when it does come out. I really want to have like a book launch, book party, something when my book comes out. I really want to do something in Atlanta and invite people like Lyric that's in my damn at my stuff or whatever. Like I really want to do something big because this is something that I've wanted to do forever. I've been writing books since I was 16 years old. I've been writing books since I was in 11th grade. And now I'm finally finna have something being put out there. So I can't wait for you guys to see it. I can't wait for you guys to read it. I just can't wait. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. But shout out to my publisher though. I don't know if she wants to be revealed or not, but shout out to my publisher that gave me this opportunity. Like she was watching one of my videos and she heard me talk about wanting to put out a book, and she came to my social media and just gave me her number, and we've been on it ever since. Like this has been a process. I'm not rushing the process at all. I just want the book to be right. And I'm very excited. This is something that I'm very excited about. That's a part of my passion. It just shows my growth in all the things that I'm trying to do. I'm not one-dimensional. I am very much so a man of all things. I'm a content creator. I'm a writer. I do it all. So y'all are going to see every piece of me this year. Every piece. I'm doing web reality. Y'all going to see every piece of me this year. This is going to be a busy year for me. Trust and believe me. But y'all, I just had to gush about that since I got my edits back a couple of days ago. Like I've been reading these edits since I got them back. But y'all, I am out of here. Until the next video, I'll holler at you guys later, and I will leave you guys with some promotion from my two dear friends, Carl and Tramiel. Be sure to support their albums. They both got albums out. Tramiel's album is called Lost and Found, and Carl's album is called Throat Factory. They're both on social media. They're both on all streaming platforms, and they're both on iTunes. But we prefer y'all purchase them off iTunes because that's where they really get the money from, being that they're independent artists. So go ahead and get into them, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye, y'all.
On some whole shit. What happened to the Zeus fame? Then Bobby made you change your name. For a show, still searching for a ring. Pray these hoes find better days. Cut off everybody. Don't trust nobody. Play with everybody. Don't have nobody. Cut off everybody. Don't trust nobody. Play with everybody. Don't have nobody. Nobody. Nigga never was a real one. Copping, please, spreading lies. What you hiding from? All these shows just an extra.
Little dance now, twerking on shit like
bad bitch, munch it up, cock goblin. Slapping ass on this dick, cock goblin. Gobble up his dick, bitch a cock goblin. Fuck him in his face, bitch a cock goblin.
attitude bad, but I'm bad